Hey, welcome back, everyone, to the podcast where we uncover the stories behind thriving businesses and bring you expert insight straight from the source. I'm your host, DDA, and I have the pleasure to speak today, Rowe Weiss. She owns a company, one of the co-founders of HealthWise Concierge. Good afternoon, Rowe. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm doing fine. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Listeners, this show is all about bringing you behind the scene experiences to give you valuable insight. This podcast is the go-to resource for learning about the businesses that shape our communities and discovering how to make the most of our guest services as well. And if you enjoy this content and you want to hear more, please subscribe to the channel. With that being said, we're going to dive into and learn a little bit about Rowe's background. So if you can start us with that, that'd be great.
So my name is Rowe Weiss, formerly Rowena Montojo. I used to live in the Philippines. I migrated here when I was 26. So I'm from Davao City and proud Bisaya and Filipino.
Awesome. So, you're the co-founder of HealthWise Concierge. And I know when I was looking at your website, Rowe, one of the services that you provide and you have valuable insight on is IV vitamin infusions. Can you explain to our listeners what that entails?
Yes. So my first business was a fast infusion IV. It was actually because it's like the Fast and Furious, but I was doing mobile services during COVID. So I was getting IV infusions myself. And I figured, if I get the benefits of this IV infusion, I want to give it to my patients as well. And so that's how the business started. And then we started to kind of branch out to different things, like we're doing weight loss, hormone replacement, but we're mainly primary care concierge.
So when we're looking at the IV vitamin infusions, and according to your website, it boosts your energy, it boosts your immune system, and it actually an overall wellness to your body as a whole, correct?
Yes. So my thesis for grad school was preventing chronic illnesses by optimizing your vitamins. So that was pretty interesting to me because when I work in the hospital, patients are like on so many medications, and I wonder the interaction with these medications. They're not, and they don't feel great still. So I was researching a lot about the vitamins and what they do, like every particular vitamin and mineral. I would research and see what the benefits are, and I've seen it firsthand too. Like during COVID, I have seen that patients who were very low on vitamin D, very low on B12, were sicker than those who are optimized. So there is a huge correlation, especially when you're seeing the actual patients.
Interesting. So, you have your business, it's all concierge. It's kind of like a buffet, I would, because you have so many different services. You go to your patient's home or they come to you. What sets your apart from your competitor out there?
Um, for me, because I'm not a very competitive person, so the only person I compete with is myself, and I really want to get better every time. And I think when I'm offering the services and I research more on other things that I can incorporate with the business, and then that's when it expands. But with the
Interesting.
market now, I feel like it's kind of gearing towards more wellness services, and you're kind of avoiding getting sick. So before you get sick, you want to be optimized. I think with the pandemic, that has taught us a lot of things, not just with optimizing our health, but also the technology part of it. Because before, you just go to a traditional setting where you go to the clinic and then you get the medications. But nowadays, people have been more innovative with their health.
Interesting. Technology has evolved, right, in every industry trends, technology. There's another one of your services called bioidentical hormone, I believe, replacement therapy. Can you give our listeners a little overview of what that's all about, that service?
Yes. So we have hormones, and as we get older, they are depleted. And back in the 80s, hormone replacement have gotten such a bad reputation, to where now all these people in the hormone space are trying to debunk those myths. So if you need those hormones for the bodily functions, and when they're depleted, that's when we replace it with a bioidentical hormone. So it's kind of similar to what you produce. And it helps a lot with energy, mental focus, even people who are diagnosed with anxiety and depression. But when you get to the root cause, your vitamin B12 is very low, your vitamin D is very low, your testosterone level. So we replace the hormones.
Wow, very good advice. So how do you balance, the demands of business and personal life? Because I know we're all busy, especially you. How do you balance that?
So I have 3 children, and I try to incorporate my family life with my business as well. But I think ever since I was young, I've been a very multifaceted person, and I enjoy different things. So I love songwriting, I do poetry, I do yoga, Pilates. So you kind of just manage your time. Like I wake up at 5 o'clock, I go to the yoga studio like 4 times a week. I even trained to be a yoga instructor. But I listen to a lot of my modules when I'm driving, because it's an hour drive. So by the time I get to the location, I take the test and I get certified for that. So every drive, I make it, how do you say it? I utilize my time, because I rack my brains thinking what makes humans equal. And I think
Hmm.
we all have 24 hours in a day. So what you do
That's
in that
right.
24 hours can really make a significance in your life.
It's very interesting you say that because, like you said, we only have 24 hours a day, and you want to maximize every minute, every second of that day that you can, and best utilize it to the best of your ability. Correct?
Yes. And I think that's my mindset ever since. Like if I have 1 hour with this patient, how could I be impactful? I wouldn't say impressionable, because that kind of is more like superficial. I wanted to be more impactful in their
Yep.
health, and I could convey as many things that I know. And to educate your patient, that's the best way for them to manage their health.
Very good advice. So, everyone has a story to tell, right? We all have stories.
Mhm.
Can you share a story where your business really made a difference in someone's life? And it could be recent, or it could have been, like, who knows? Anything you want to share with that?
I have top three. I do have a lot of
Oh,
stories because I worked for 20 years, but then probably my top three would be, number one was the boy that was diagnosed with bone cancer, and all he wanted to do was to be a NBA player. So I am a very tenacious and persuasive person. I called everybody, and then I finally got Hidu Turkoglu to meet him. He passed away, so it's not even like I saved his life, but it kind of made his family see him as a regular boy. And
hmm.
that was like very personal to me. It's not just about the business. And then the second one was, I was driving and I saw a homeless man with a very big gash on his neck, and I asked him if I could do a dressing on his wound. And he said, I just want to let you know I'm a drug addict. Most people would be scared to do it. And I think that made him realize that there are people who would still show kindness and compassion. And for something that really made a difference, because I saved a life, I volunteered to be the medical provider for a golf tournament. And one of the players there was having symptoms, and he kind of stopped at a hole number 3. And I happened to be there. I think I'm just going to, I'm at the right place at the right time. And
I was going to say that. Yes.
so I talked to him. I did his vital signs. I assessed his symptoms, and he actually ended up having open heart surgery.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Those
he
are,
wrote me a letter, and he talks to me until now. And he said he's very grateful that I was there at that time.
yeah, those are three top stories that
Mm.
are pretty powerful, to be honest with you. That's awesome. So as we wrap up here, could you provide our listeners a way? Well, let's do one other thing too. Can you give some advice to some listeners are wanting to become business owners? They want to get into the medical field. They have their own business. Can you give maybe one or two pointers of how to keep moving forward, how to keep pushing that needle forward when times are hard?
Yes. Don't be discouraged. I mean, it's good to listen to other people, but sometimes too, they don't have your best interest. And I always believe, like from a business standpoint, you have to do it the correct way. Don't cut corners because it's your medical license. So quality, like focus on quality. I also believe in consuming so you can produce. And that means you have to learn so you'll be able to educate people. And last but not the least, you have to also invest money so you can make money.
I like what you said. Do it right or don't do it, basically, right? If you're
You
going to
can
get
do
into
it, but it's just best for you to do it the right way, secure the legalities, research on where you can get the best, everything the best so you can provide the best.
wow, this has been such a delight for you to be able to share your valuable insight of your past to your present of what you're doing in terms of helping people. I love it. Can you provide a way for them, our listeners, to get a hold of you, whether it's your phone number or your website?
Okay, so our website is www.healthwiseconcierge.com, and you can call me on my cell phone. It's 863-712-2310, and our patients have access to us. They can email us or they can call us. So we have a more personalized approach, and they can contact us through text or phone call. And then we also do home visits for the most part and virtual visits.
Rowe, thank you so much for providing great information to our listeners, and hopefully we can have you back again in the near future.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for tuning in to First Media Consulting Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, subscribe today. To nominate a business you would like to recommend to be on our show, go to firstmediaconsulting.com or call. Thank you for listening.